What is up, people of YouTube? I'm your host Vernon. This is Upper Government Wash. Let's fish that. Alright, ladies and gents, it does take a couple of days for me to film, edit and then upload my videos. For that reason, my videos are a week behind, so to say. So this video, for instance, was filmed on the 1st of April. Of course, that means it's April Fool's Day, and that is actually quite fitting, as I have been quite a fool recently. What I want you to understand is that I've now been filming my fishing videos for the last 2 years. The first year I got here, I was fishing Sunset Park and Floydland Park, and I kind of missed the spawn session in the spring. And then last year, of course, we had the COVID-19 hit, and with some lockdowns, I missed the spring season again. Trying to be eager not to miss it this year. I'm perhaps too eager, trying to want to catch some bass. The waters are still quite cold. These fish should be moving up soon, but I don't think they're up shallow yet. Having a look around, you don't see any bluegill, you don't see any bass on beds yet. So I'm trying to keep a level head, and I'm going to try and do some basic simple fishing, trying to find the fish that are willing to go for baits this time of year. Okay, so here's the setup that I'm using today. I got my carp rod out there with my carp setup and some different baits on there, trying to see whether there are still any carp willing to feed at the moment or whether they've headed into the spawn. And on my second rod, I have some night crawlers out there. For some reason I forgot to pick up some anchovies, but I do have some night crawlers with me. We'll see maybe if some channel catfish are willing to go for my baits, or maybe some of the bluegill if they're starting to come up. Maybe they'll try out some night crawlers. There we go, guys. Nice little carp for today. Not the biggest carp, at least we got something. Nice fat belly on this one. I think this one's already done with the spawn, maybe fattening up, trying to regain some energy. Let's quickly get him off the hook. There we are, guys. Nice tiny little carp. Let's get him back into the water. And off he goes. Nice little catch for today. That one actually took some night crawlers, not the corn. I'm going to rebait and cast back out there again. Alright guys, so after 2 hours we've at least caught that one little carp, showing that that one carp was at least willing to go for my baits. But I've had no other hits on the rods other than that. Not even one little cling on the bells for the night crawlers. And one of the other fishermen around just recently caught a striped bass using a little football jig with a little craw imitation on there. Just now that was something weird to see someone catching a striped bass on a football jig, but that does tell me that the fish are kind of more active here than I might have think. So seeing how I'm not getting any bites on the second rod, I'm going to pack that rod away and see if maybe if I can throw around some lures and see if we get some action out there. Alright guys, fish number 2 coming up. I think we've hooked this fish sideways or with both hooks because it's swimming strange. So I'm going to force it in so we can get the hooks out of him. We got him hooked in both his dorsal fin and his mouth, so let's quickly get him unhooked. Got one hook out, then he started splashing. There we go guys, bigger carp. This one has some malformation on him. Seems like something bit him at some stage, but it's healed up nicely. Quite bulky fish. Quickly gonna get the hook out of him so we can get him back into the water. Okay, so there's our second fish, nice and unhooked. Let's get him a bit deeper into the water this time. This water is quite cold, but I have some water shoes on, so let's get a nice release of this fish. And there he goes, swimming back ever so slowly, no rush to get away. This time around that fish went for the corn, didn't go for the night crawler. I'm using the system where I do a double up night crawler on the bottom in case some catfish comes by, and then some corn for the carp. Alright guys, I don't know whether you'll be able to see it, but my little bobber there, every once in a while it gets this big jerk up. But it's not running out, it's not screaming, so I think something's down there nibbling at my baits, but it's not taking the hooks, it's not going for the corn or the night crawlers. So this time of year is particularly difficult to do some fishing with the changing of the seasons, having a bit warmer days, slightly warmer water. The fish are heading into all sorts of different moods. I came out here to get the skunk off my back. Luckily we managed that with the 2 carp that I caught, but I was not expecting to catch carp out here today. I was thinking using the night crawlers and maybe getting some channel catfish, because this is normally the time of year when the channel catfish start biting. But this just kind of goes to show you need to test everything and figure out what's working at the moment, because there's nothing set in stone saying that at this date this is how it will work. Now I quite regularly talk about the spawn. You need to understand that the spawn is not just one big massive spawn, all the fish spawn and it's done with. It's different fish going through different phases in the spawn. Alright, so the spring spawn session is stretched out over a couple of months, starting with something like the sucker fish, and then you have the crappie, and then you have carp spawning, and then bluegill and bass together, and then the channel catfish, and then as the season progresses you get something like the shiners and shad going into their spawn. So it is important for us as anglers to be thinking about the spawn season, what fish are spawning when, because as the fish are spawning they will not be biting. Once they're done spawning, the fishing should pick up rapidly, then they're feeding again. At the moment I believe it is still the carp spawn time. It's very slow fishing for carp. You get 1 or 2 bites maybe, and that's tend to be smaller fish or malformed fish. that probably won't be partaking in the spawn. Clearly stuff like the bass and bluegill are not up shadow yet. They're still quite a ways out. That is why I thought that we might get some channel catfish out there today, but that was not the case. Okay, so soaking baits out there is a pretty good way of getting fish. Just know that it takes a long time to catch anything, but the spawn season is quite short. Soon it will be over and we can start catching fish again. Alright, but I think that's a good place to end this video. If you found this video to be informative or you learned something, please do give me a little thumbs up. Feel free to ask any questions down in the comments or just say hi. If you're new to the channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button, joining my community. And if you're wondering what the carp setup is that I'm referring to, down in the video description there is a link to my carp setup if you want to see what's the baits I'm using to catch these fish out here. Okay, but thank you for following me on the trip, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay guys, and as I'm packing up all my equipment, we get another fish. Again, we have a small little carp. That's why I'm saying I think these are the fish that are not partaking in the spawn. They are still feeding, but the bigger fish are spawning and not interested in my baits at all. Let's quickly land this guy. There we go guys, third little fish for today. These fish love showing up after I've done the outro for the videos, but let's get this one back into the water. And there he goes. Alright guys, if you're still watching at this point, go down in the comments and give a shout out to that fish for ruining my video.